So we've had a few iterations on Party Can logo, and each time I've said I wanted a logo in Toys R Us logo, and what we've got is kind of a bit different. So our original logo, my mate in Denmark just kind of did it. He said, "Here you go." Yeah, cool. And it took me a while to realize it, but it had hidden a giant penis in the background of it. Fuck, man.
Headbangers. Hi, welcome back to the Headbangers podcast, where your hosts Nathan and Brad. Here today is Chris from Party Cannon. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, not bad. Glad to be here. She's having me on. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Yeah, good, man. Good, man.
Really good. So I want to kind of start off with something just nice to get, nice icebreaker into it. What is your worst and funniest tour story?
The worst and funniest tour story. Oh, man.
Yeah, they can be intertwined, but if you've got like a separate one for each, that's also good.
I think I definitely have a low point, right? Definitely a low point. Driving through Nevada desert, low on fuel, fucking getting pretty close to like having to be in the venue. Everyone's like really unwell, so we don't really have like time to stop and like sort things out. So just about everybody on the tour crew that day had to shit in the desert, just out by cactuses and stuff, fucking God. Avoiding giant insects and lizards and stuff. Bizarre, like American wildlife. That was awful. That was definitely a low point. So it's good we've started the podcast off by scraping the bottom there.
I was gonna say, sounds like you had like your 127 hours or something. Like that sounds.
Yeah, good. I was like, man, like we've been filming for like 2 seconds and we're already talking about shit. But I think one funny stories was we played Salt Lake City in Utah, and after set, the venue kind of doubled as a nightclub. It was like a Thursday night or something, so you kind of assumed a nightclub wouldn't be that busy, but it was absolutely fucking rammed full of people. And outside, they set up this like giant water slide for people to go down. And the way it was kind of set up was there's a set of concrete stairs that kind of went to the side of it, and there's kind of like a metal barrier, and you kind of had to climb the barrier to go down this giant water slide. And like, this is awesome. Like, this is like really, really unique. Like, I've never seen anything like this in a UK club, especially on like a Thursday night. And then it was all fun and games, and too many people going on the slide at once. And since I'm inflatable, it just kind of capsized and kind of kind of like folded over on itself. But the way the barrier was, it kind of folded over the barrier, and people were like legitimately trapped in it. You know, like screaming, and there's like no staff around and stuff. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? So I remember I was just talking to a random person, because in America people just talk to each other. It's amazing. They just make conversation. And I was like drinking something, and I was holding someone's like towel or something. So I just said to them, hold this and you go rescue some people. And I remember I went over, I had this guy, he was like pinned on the ground under his water slide. And I kind of grabbed him around his arm, just like pulled him out. I was like, don't worry, man, I'm going to save you. And he's like screaming, he's like in pain and stuff. He's like absolutely fucked. And after enough people kind of came out of his water slide, it kind of reinflated, and there was like one guy left out, and he kind of got launched in the air. I like just kind of landed on the slide and went down, and everyone kind of started clapping and cheering. And it was like it never happened. It was like a big disaster just never happened, and people just started going down the slide again.
Was anyone like injured from that then?
No, seriously. I think people are a bit traumatized. That was 6 years ago, and I still remember that fucking vividly. Of all the things that happened on tour, like a water slide accident. What the fuck is that, man? I mean, people are like, oh, Party Can, you probably like alcohol involved. There's probably a bunch of like the random party stories. Like, no, that water's like trumps all, man.
How big was the slide? Easily
10, 11 feet, man.
Wow.
It's fucking huge. This is America. Like, don't give a shit. You just do stuff. So.
Yeah, that is true. Wow.
Yeah. Well, one thing I absolutely love about you guys as well is like sort of like the humor aspect of your music, but also like the like sheer brutality of it. How is it that you sort of juggle these two like polar opposites almost and make Party Cannon what it is?
See, that whole kind of thing just kind of came a bit. I'd say just kind of came naturally to us. We've had a few questions about this recently, actually. Yeah, some guy on another podcast was apparently slagging us off for doing that. And a bunch of people messaged me like, you hear what this guy said about you? It's like, what the fuck? So yeah, I've got a few questions about. Basically, there's a lot of bands that we listened to growing up that kind of did the same thing. Like, it's not like a joke band. It's like a band that just kind of has its own, tongue-in-cheek sense of humor in a way. It doesn't take the themes too seriously, while the actual music is quite serious. So, just when we formed the band, the bands we like brutal death metal bands like Gorgasm, Dying Fetus, and Devourment, obviously, but we're also just as into like power violence and grindcore, and that's always kind of had a kind of humorous edge to it.
Yeah.
Not so much that like kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of like a realness to it. It's just kind of a self-awareness. Like, they know it's ridiculous and they know the music is insane, but I don't know, it's still fun. It's kind of over top in a different way. So bands like, I don't know, Spaz and Afternoon Gentlemen, that's kind of vibe we liked. Like, also you like the all kind of serious brutal death metal themes and stuff. Like, I'm wearing a fucking cockball torture t-shirt right now, but it was just things like, I don't know, Afternoon Gentlemen, Spaz, Weekend Nitrals, and like that. That kind of, those themes kind of, I felt were a bit more relatable because they're just kind of real, it's just kind of like humorous, self-aware. So just kind of combining that, and if you go to gigs like Europe and see the Gorgon bands live, it's like fun. It's like really fun to watch them. People don't take it too seriously. It's more just having a party, whereas the music itself is quite like all serious. It's just kind of taking a bit of every influence that we had and just kind of boiling it down into that. So it was kind of natural. It wasn't really like a planned thing. We never went, we're gonna have this kind of theme and that kind of stuff. But yeah, feel like a fun and place to do music.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I like you guys, because like you've got that little. I feel like a lot of like brutal death metal bands also take themselves like really seriously, and I've always thought like. I've always said, like, at the end of the day, it always helps as well to be sort of self-aware and have fun with it. Like, at the end of the day, we're all like people were screaming down a mic about like all sorts of shit. It's like, how can we be serious about it, really?
Yeah. That's the fun of it, though, man. It's like so over the top. So if you don't like recognize that, it's like, what are you getting? Like, you're there to have fun at the end of the day, no matter how seriously you take it. I'm sure people like black metal and stuff, ultra serious black metal, I'm sure they have fun at gigs. If they don't admit it or not, it's enjoyable. So I mean,
yeah, like, I imagine like they're not all just sat there drinking wine and smoking cigarettes, going, "Oh, I really like the atmosphere in here." You know what I mean? Like,
if they are, I don't have any fucking internet points against for it, but man, yeah, it's just.
You gotta poke fun at it. I mean, if you take things like, outside of the metal thing, it's just, we're there headbanging, just doing stupid shit all the time. Like, it's not that much of a serious genre when you pull apart all the assets that go into it. So I think it's good to like be self-aware, have a joke about it, and yeah, just have fun. This is something that you can't forget to do.
Totally, man. I read a review one time of some album, and a guy kind of summed up brutal death metal in a few words perfectly. It was compositionally complex, but conceptually idiotic. I was like, you got it there, man. Got the paradigm.
Absolutely
down.
Yeah. Get that on a beach quote or something, like that needs to be popped somewhere. No, totally. So yeah, we did like a deep dive on your Instagram. See that there's a few photos of you guys, performing in mankinis. Will that be a return to your show performances, or was that just a one-time thing?
Is it something we might see at Bloodstock this year?
Yeah, that's what we want to know.
Who knows what will happen at Bloodstock, man. We've got a few things planned for that, but the Mankini thing, that was just like we got asked to play Ritual Halloween Fest in Leeds, and we thought, like, we wanted to like headline, and the guy was like, "You're going to do something ridiculous. You're going to do something ridiculous," because like obviously bands are going to dress up and stuff. Like, I guess people are expecting if a band called Party Cans headline Halloween Fest, they're probably expecting something kind of ridiculous. So we just kind of brainstormed a bunch of ideas. Originally, my idea was I wanted to dress up as the band based in Torture Killings in London and just kind of steal their gimmick for a night, but just play Party Can songs. But our drummers are like, fuck that, let's just order my keys and have a song, just get naked. And just went with that and it seemed to go down well. The crowd seemed shocked by it because we played the first song halfway through, and there's the song we played, there's a big open note, and it kind of rings out when we like set up and fight and stuff. And then it goes into like a slam riff. So what we did though was during that point, I remember I handed a bass to someone in the audience, and a guitarist just threw his guitar somewhere, and he just took all clothes off and stuff, just threw it off, just in our man keys. You're like, what the fuck is happening? Took a bass back, went into breakdown. It was all good. It's a good Halloween for people.
I was gonna say,
definitely.
but it's like almost like the economical option as well, because you don't have to spend loads of money on costumes. You can just rip off your clothes and be there in a mankini, and yeah, there's your costume sorted.
But I'll tell you this: so the mankini was fucking impossible to wear. It did not cover anything. So fucking ridiculous. I was like, right, cool. We did like a test run. Like, I just tried it on. I was like, I want to make sure it actually fits and stuff. I put on, like, fuck, man, like, nothing is staying in place. So I do like kickboxing and like contact sports stuff. So I went and got like a cup and kind of put that on, and I still really wasn't working. So the only real practical solution was to stick my knob in a sock and kind of like fucking crane it around and put this fucking cup on and like put it really tight. Like, cool, fucking secure. Lengths we went through to fucking do that for people.
Did anyone's like nuts ever fall out of the mankini at any point, like when you were playing?
Man, like, very probably. I figured by that stage it wasn't my problem anymore. It's the crowd's issue.
Yeah.
As well, like one thing that like listening to you guys like immediately jumps out to me is like sort of your use of samples. Whether it's like a sample from the In-Betweeners or Super Bad, I always find that like that's one of the main things that like do genuinely jump out to me. How do you normally go about picking your sample, the samples for your songs?
Oh man, it usually just comes to me, man. Like, collectively we all watch way too much TV, man. Like, far too much. But throughout my life, I've probably seen like every British sitcom ever, every stupid American like fucking party film. And when you just hear it, you just hear it. So that Superbad sample's like a stroke of genius. I remember being like, wait a minute. There's like a good build up to it, and we just put it start EP, it'll fucking work. And the In-Betweeners one, it was just, I don't know, just so blunt. It's just the escalation in that sample was just, I just love it. I don't know, like maybe I was to choose that again, and maybe we wouldn't use that sample because I don't think the word sophisticated is particularly acceptable. But yeah, it was just the escalation. It was just kind of how outrageous it was and stuff. And yeah, I think the best sample we ever had was we've got a song called "Softly Gelatinous Body," which came out on our 2017 EP. I was watching an episode of Peep Show, and there's a section where they're all sitting on like a bar table, and they're all like banging on a table, and they're all just shouting "slam" over and over again. I just about had a fucking like, when I saw it, I just about had a fucking brain hemorrhage. It's like, if I don't use that, I'm fucking up. Like, I literally wrote that song to like include that sample in it. It's like, right, there's going to be a gap, and it's just going to do that. Then the riff's going to come in.
That's a good
I absolutely
sample.
love Peep Show, man.
Yeah, same.
I
Yeah,
absolutely love that show. It's like
top
there's
tier.
so many good quotes from it. Where it's like Supan's where he's there like, there's two ways you can go right now. One way's heaven, and well the other way's hell. But it's best not to think about that. But it's fucking horrible.
You see the guy
That
who
crack
played,
is really Moorish.
seen the guy who played Superhands, came like a DJ for a while. They did all these like
Yeah.
solo sets. And
Oh,
He
wow.
did like a full tour, didn't he? Like
Yeah, no, it's
right
nice.
around the UK.
yeah, and just loads of clips of him on stage, like playing a note, like the longer the notes, the more dreads.
I had no idea that he was a DJ, to be honest. Like, I know that he is in the show, but it's quite funny how he does that in real life as well.
Yeah, I get a Goldmine there. Like all those like gigs sold out and stuff, man. So he must have like rigged it in. But it's a great idea. It works so well, and I kind of metal way. He's like, man, that's perfect. Like,
I mean, I
we've
suppose-
seen on Peep Show a few times. There's something just about the kind of deadpan, melancholic humor in it. It's just kind of, it just works. It just kind of fits part again.
Yeah.
Even on the new album coming out, there's a Peep Show sample. I can't give away too much about it, but sample Peep Show again, free for free.
I'm very excited for that too.
Oh, me too.
Like, if I hear it, I'm gonna try to think of what episode it's from.
Yeah.
let me know if you figure it out, man.
Yeah, I think like I love the page when it's like no context Peep Show. It just picks all the best quotes from it, and it's you just
Oh yeah.
oh my god, it's just so
Well, you know the thing is, I my favorite character I think is Mark because
Yeah.
like I feel like Mark's like a lot of me, like internally, like
I feel
so much.
like Mark and Jez kind of embody the worst parts of everybody.
yeah.
Because, I mean, they're awful people. They're really, really awful people. But at every point, like, just the internal monologues and stuff, it's like, fuck, man. Everyone's had that kind of ridiculous spot at some point. It's just the escalation. It's just kind of small, logical steps that get to this insane situation, but it's kind of realistic. It's like, fuck, that could happen. If you just if you just didn't control yourself, or you just kind of made one wrong choice, you could end up barbecuing a dog in a bank. So,
Like, nobody wants to be Mark, but everyone's like, yeah, I'm kind of Mark, and
nice.
this tends to be that way, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like
Mm.
when I watch Peep Show, I'm like, I'm 110% like got a bit of Mark in me.
Yeah, that's a funny one. So I want to ask, do you reckon you guys coined the term party slam? Because that's what you refer to you guys as. Like, is there any other bands in that sort of vicinity as well? Or do you think you guys like, yeah, we invented this shit, man?
Yeah, we definitely coined a term, but it's not like I don't know if it's like a legit thing. But we've had a few bands like say, oh, we're going to use party slam as well. And that's been cool. They've always kind of acknowledged it. But there's one band in New York. This guy put up this fucking like, just a video of him talking. He's like, we've now decided we're going to be the world's first party slam band.
You guys
decided that embodies. Like, we decided it embodies the band sound because we're playing the slam and just going nuts live and stuff. I was like, fair enough. It's like I can watch him step. It doesn't take too long to any artist to go to that. But I remember like I left a comment, just like cheeky comment on the band account, like, hey man, I'm gonna do some research, just like as a joke. And when people start chiming, it's like, yeah, Party Cannon literally had that printed on every single merch item for the past 10 years. So you might want to rethink that. And the guy started messaging me and be like, I've never heard your band. I don't give a fuck. It's like, oh man, I'm just having a joke. Like, clearly you can't be a party slam band if you take it that seriously. You're gonna try and start a fight with someone over the term party.
If you question,
the fact that he like went out of his way as well, he's like, you know what? No, I'm the first party slam band, and I know for a fact I am.
And you know, you guys just like, yeah, that's not very party slam, guys.
I wasn't very party slam of you, man.
You know what I feel like though? Like maybe he like had completely like sold his idea. You know, when you pitch something to the band and everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna be the first party slam band, and they're like, I can't wait to post this video. And then like as soon as he sees it, it's like, oh shit. Well, you know what? Fuck it.
He's probably really hyped about it, and it just like fucking stabbed a hole in his ideas. Like, sorry, man.
Yeah, it's completely.
He sees all the merch and he's there like, fuck.
I was like, I fucked up big time.
Now I look like a dick.
Really?
Hey, maybe like some of you guys will be like, you know, we're the Godfathers of party slam, you know, like the Metallica of thrash metal. We fucking made the shit, man.
Fuck, man. And it was kind of similar story, not with party slam, but just kind of same concept of somebody just embodying the opposite of what we're trying to like achieve. When we put our first EP Party in Half, we had a thanks list. We had like a buzzkill section, just like as a joke, and we included this guy from Fife that no one really liked, but you know, so we just had his name like Buzzkills, this and that, and he got in touch with me, man, being like, "Why'd you call me a buzzkill?" I was like, "It's not funny, man. Why would you pick on me like that?" Like, what you're doing right now is kind of proving the point you're a buzzkill. She's a fucking joke, man. I was like, you really proved me wrong by lecturing me on why he's not a buzzkill.
It's like trying to prove he's not a buzzkill by killing the buzz lately.
Yeah,
like, straight away. Like, I'm going to take this as serious as possible and suck all the fun out of it. And that way, he'll realise I'm not a buzzkill.
I miss you, man. Have a
go. One thing as well that I'm really liking at the minute from you guys is the is what you're doing with the recent sort of art for the new album, allowing fans to sort of submit their own like photos. How did the idea sort of come about?
Well, right, I can't really give too much away about art because it's not been announced yet, and the artist is still kind of working on it. But basically, I just really like Carcass, and I just kind of want to combine something like that with something that's kind of party themed but still kind of obscene, because I feel like it's kind of like the embodiment of party can. We've always had kind of Tom Savini style B-movie gory album art, but it's done in such a way, it's so kind of over the top and kind of still party themed that it's just kind of, it's just a vibe. I just think it would fit in the party can vibe. So also with lockdown happening, the fans have still been like really supporting us, which have been amazed at, because I mean, we're not like a full-time band. At no point did we go online being like, we're really struggling. We're not going to pay rent because all of these like gigs and tours fell in, which is fair enough. Bands going on being like, we really need help. We're actually really in a hole. I could completely understand that, but we didn't need to do it because obviously we still have like jobs and stuff. But the fans are still supporting us. They were like kind enough to choose to buy our merch over other bands, even though there's always like cool stuff out there. So let's do something cool and involve the fans. That's kind of unique. Just kind of give back to them as well while still getting like a really cool product at the end of it. So just giving back to the fans, creating my terrible ideas, kind of put it together. So I've not seen the final product yet, so let's hope it's actually good. I'm really talking up at the moment. I think it'll be amazing, but if it's not, I'll probably have to write 200 people an apology message. Like, sorry for using your picture in my shit album.
Were there any like submissions that you got like were just a bit too like weird to be able to be put on there, where you like kind of looked at it going, no, it's a bit too far?
Not at all. There's no punches pulled there. We got a few things we didn't expect. Like some people would just send us pictures of them having their dinner, and I was like, "That's not what I saw." And I was like talking to an art guy, and he was like, "Don't worry, man. I'll make it work. I'll use it to pad out." So, but we got this one guy. Oh man, it was fucking weird. It was like a totally professional, like photo of him in his like furry suit and covered in like boards and stuff. So like,
that's more like the submissions I expected you guys to get, to be honest.
Yeah. But the guy also put a lot of effort into it, and it will be included. But it was like really well lit. The camera he used was clearly like a really high definition camera. Like there's money definitely put into this production. I was like, fuck man, I did not expect it. Some of the spew photos I got that were obscene, like actual projectile vomit, like taking it at a perfect point of explosion.
What?
Yeah, that was great. That's the main thing we really wanted, but it's going to be pretty disgusting.
How do you like plan to? Did this just give themselves food poisoning before the shoot? Like, how do you set yourself up to just, you know what I mean?
Well, this is a mention of it, man. Lots of people just have these photos like hanging around and like, cool, finally something about all my cringeworthy photos I can do.
I thought they meant just for you.
Just like that photo from Daryl's night out. Finally, I can use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So I want to ask, so if Party Cannon were going to throw the ultimate blowout, the ultimate Party Cannon party, what would be like the 5 essential things that need to be there to make it a Party Cannon party?
Oh, that's a good question, man. Like, I don't know, definitely a lot of regret. Probably going to be pretty like sad and lonely to appear at that one, man. I don't know, just gonna definitely also like gonna have some balloons. Just kind of squalid behavior in general. Well, kind of talk really. I mean, we're called Party Canada, but I wouldn't really say we're like party people. So we're like, for a party, it'd be really depressing.
God, you guys have faked it all this time.
I know, man.
You're on that party slam.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess like if we would have like an album blow up, like my kind of open vision for the band is to have a kind of gore style stage show. So if we kind of incorporate that and make it into like an actual party, spray people like fake blood and stuff, like have corpses explode and confetti come out. It would be pretty good. That'd be better than an actual party, I think.
Sounds like a good party.
Yeah. Possible music video idea there.
Yeah.
And we actually just got done filming a few playthrough videos in interesting locations, and we're working on a pretty cool music video at the moment, which is going to be, the video is going to be pretty unexpected. I don't think any band's done something like this before, and if they have, I hope they've not done as well we have, but it's going to be interesting. I can't give any details away about it, but we've got a lot of like music videos coming for this album. Personally, right, I don't really like music videos, so that's why Party Cannon's not had one so far, because I feel if Party Cannon's going to have a music video, it needs to be right. It needs to be like something people don't expect. Because I get a million terrible suggestions from people who don't even like my band a day, just like, Party Cannon should do a video like this. And it's all just like, go to a paddling pool. It's like no, man. I feel like if we're going to do something, it needs to be like a step ahead of what people are thinking. I think we've done it with this. Yeah. So when it comes out, whenever it comes out, hopefully people will appreciate it. A lot of effort is going into
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now most people that's going to be watching this will probably already know that you guys got announced for Bloodstock this year.
Yeah, man.
What was it like hearing the news that you'd been confirmed for Bloodstock?
It's pretty mad, to be honest. Like I didn't expect in like a million years to like play Bloodstock, especially on the Sophie stage as well, which is like the legend stage.
Oh yeah.
Because usually all our bands play like a new Blood stage and stuff, and that's cool. That's awesome. I kind of expected if we were to get offered a slot, it'd be kind of on that, and because it's kind of smaller bands and stuff. But offered a Sophie slot, I was like, what the fuck, this is pretty amazing. Because usually, I don't know, Bloodstock to do like a lot of like different genres and stuff to do, but it's usually kind of more well-known death metal bands. But the fact you're having like an actual like underground slam band that like just like full pig schools and different blast suites and stuff like from the UK, like that's awesome. And it's so cool that a fest that size are gonna let a band with such a kind of inaccessible underground vibe to them, like play like on like good slot as well. So it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was pretty surreal. In fact, we're playing like Judas Priest and Cradle of Filth and stuff. Like, what the fuck? I never thought in a million years, even if it's in like tiny at the bottom, my band is all going to appear with Judas Priest. I remember I texted my dad and it happened, and that's the only time he's ever seemed like remotely interested in a band. I was like, hey dad, I'm playing a gig with Judas Priest. He's like, oh, that's great news. Usually it's like going to Asia these days, it's like, oh cool, I get someone else to watch the cat if we go away. It's like, cool.
No, it's cool though. Like, you're playing like a festival with so many legendary bands, and it's like, again, Surfy Stage, like it's not New Blood, like Surfy Stage is the second biggest stage at Bloodstock, and there's so many legendary bands that play on that as well. So no, we're really excited to see it, and I imagine you guys are going to put on a killer performance with a lot of fun stuff ahead. So
yeah, we're putting all the punches around, man. We've got a lot of cool things planned. It's going to be some unexpected things as well. But I know, whole thing was surreal. Like, I really thank Bloodstock for giving us a chance as well, because I think it'll definitely open us up to like a bunch of new fans as well.
Yeah,
I think with underground music like ours, I think some people who aren't so versed in it, I'm not trying to like come across like snobby or kind of like I know better than other people, which is if you see a band on like a legitimate festival, you're probably more likely to give them a chance, as you feel there's some kind of quality control there. Whereas if you're just sifting for YouTube and you see like a band called fucking like Exposed Pig Guts or something, you're like, oh, maybe I'll give that a miss. But if you see like Bloodstock, something where it has like a bit more, someone's chosen to have that band there. You're like, oh, cool, I'll give us a chance. I don't usually listen to the brutal death metal, but since they're on the test, I'll listen to them. So it might open their minds to it, gets new fans. But anyway, it'll be fun. I think even if people are just like waiting for like another band to go on after us, you might still just enjoy the set because it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. I as well, going back to your point of like being on the Sophie stage and everything, I have noticed like a lot of smaller bands have ended up playing Bloodstock have blown up so like massively after Bloodstock. Like Ingested, I remember when Brad came back from Bloodstock, like, have you ever heard of Ingested? Like, no. At the time they were kind of underground, kind of weren't. And I listened to them, I was like, holy shit, these guys are amazing. And from where they were back then to now, it's just insane. I think Bloodstock has such a good sort of like chance to expose your music to a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And let you grow as a band.
Yeah, completely enough. Again, what you said, I feel like when a band plays Bloodstock to fans, even though it's a bit of a weird opinion, but people do tend to see, oh, this band must be legit now because they're playing Bloodstock, and then they watch you, and then that's how it blows up. And then most of the time, when someone plays a Surfy stage, they might come back and play a main stage next time. Like it's like a magnet for getting a lot more fans, which is the cool part of Bloodstock.
Especially in the UK, man. It's a good opportunity for us. I'm really happy it happened. And like you said about Ingested, like I've like listened to Ingested day one since like Northwest Slam Fest, and what they were and what they are now is insane. It's insane to see a band from our like an actual like, brutal scene get to the heights they are. If they're playing like Bloodstock now, probably like main stage, like
yeah, 100%, especially like the just the sheer how they've grown in the last couple of years has been insane. Like from like 2018 to now, like that's when I initially heard of them. I'm like, gee, this band's gone really far in just such a short amount of time. It's like having features from like some really legendary people in the scenes as well. Like you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, you had like Kurt from Crowbar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's the same band I saw playing songs called Skinned and Fucked, like in front of 20 people in Edinburgh. It's like,
Yeah.
there's a band. But
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Like it just like an amazing band. Like I can't, it's like inspiring to see how far you kind of went. So
Oh yeah,
they really did a lot of,
definitely
like,
they definitely like earned every single little bit of like growth they got.
Yeah,
because they are really nice blokes as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, for sure. I want to ask as well, what inspires like all your lyrical content? Because that is obviously one of the most striking parts as well. Like, do you all sit down and like you just think of this funny idea, like, right, let's do this? Like, what's the process behind that?
So this might come with a bit of shocks to people, but the lyrics aren't actually all ridiculous. It's a bit of a kind of mismatch at points. So I'd say at least 20% of all our music doesn't have lyrics. So I'll get that one out of the way. A lot of them really guttural vocals and pixels and stuff.
Yeah,
that's more just about the pattern and the kind of like timbre of the voice. So if it sounds better without lyrics, I don't really see the point in forcing them in there. It's all about the way it sounds at the end of the day. But so usually how it works is our vocalist Tony will write like a big batch of lyrics, and he's usually inspired by like sci-fi and old anime series like Neon Genesis Evangelion, he really likes like Lovecraft, things like that. So all these kind of really sophisticated, really well thought out lyrics about giant monsters or kind of social political issues and things like that. Then I'll come along and be like, right, I've got all these patterns in my head, but I'm really bad at writing lyrics. So I've just fit in the menu to fucking Subway over this pattern. So if you can just recite that, I'll be fine. I wrote this pattern, and it's about making a pizza. So just throw that in there. So it kind of mishmashes from like intense kind of high fantasy sci-fi to fucking the recipe for a pizza crust. But the song titles are usually a bit kind of disconnected. So usually we'll have the song title and the music way further than the lyrics. And song titles are just stuff come up with. This might be quotes from TV shows, things that are funny, something that relates to like a joke in my life, anything like that, or it's kind of cool, pulling inspiration in, or as long as it's kind of fits the vibe, I think it sounds cool. It's all good.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Love it.
Definitely. As well, one thing that always stands out to me when I see you guys on a lineup is the logo. What was it like, sort of like deciding on the logo? Like, was there variations of Party Cannon logos, or was it just like from the get go, you're like, I want it to be like that?
Is it the Toys R Us logo, but like changed into? Yeah, I wanted to know that. Yeah.
So we've had a few iterations on Party Cannon logo, and each time I've said I wanted the logo in Toys R Us logo, and what we've got is kind of a bit different. So our original logo, my mate in Denmark just kind of did it. He said, "Here you go." Yeah, cool. And it took me a while to realize it, but it had hidden a giant penis in the background of it. Fuck, man. So it appeared as like we played with Super War and Distant Doom in like 2011 or something like that, and that logo appeared and it was like really blowing up. I was like, wait a minute, am I only just noticing it? This isn't like Terrorizer magazine and there's a fucking dick in the logo. Like, cool. I was like, right, time to get done a logo. So Senator's our guy, and he did a great. This guy did a great job. I went to look at Toys R Us logo. Here's the colors I want to use. I want you to make the hardback front. I did it. It was great. Stacked up on top itself, and that's the logo we used to this day. That guy, and yeah, I just kind of went. I think when we kind of came up with it, we didn't really think it would be as kind of polarizing compared to like our logos as it is. We didn't really set out to do that. It just kind of happened. Like we just kind of discussed, oh yeah, that would sound cool, and people might not expect the band to sound like that. And yeah, it was good. It wasn't like an actual conscious, we want to stand out on poster type thing. If I was that smart, I probably would be working like a 9-to-5 desk job.
It's quite funny what you said before about the dick that you didn't realize in the picture, because there was a similar situation when I was doing like a show, like a documentary at university. Like I was doing about a metal documentary. It's like the first time I did it. It's fucking shit, to be honest. But like there was a moment when I was interviewing one of my best mates, and he's like a guitarist, and he's like saying there's so much you can do with your instrument. And in the background, I didn't notice there's like 3 bottles of lube, and I didn't notice until I was presenting to the class, and then on the big screen there's just 3 obvious 3 bottles of lube. And he's like, "There's so much you can do with your instrument."
Fuck, man.
For fuck's sake.
I'm pretty sure you showed me that, Brad.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was there like, there's fucking lube in the background.
Everyone
Fuck,
knows.
man. You have 3 bottles they just stacked up.
I know what.
Yeah.
Why 3 bottles? Who needs that much?
Yeah.
Surely like one bottle. One bottle. Do you? Was it 3
Why is
big
it just-
bottles
oh, like,
or 3 small bottles? Because if it's 3 small bottles, you get it. But why not just get one big one?
but he has his hand just out, just in case.
Yeah,
Fuck,
you never
really
know when
need
you
a
might
loop
need
right
it.
now.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. It's like, were they all like maybe all different flavored ones going, whatever I'm in the mood for?
Fuck, man. Oh well, I guess it's all part of a learning experience. Is lubos in the background.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I've got unlucky that no one slipped like a sneaky dick inside my fucking logo. That's almost came out so wrong then.
Oh fuck, man! I couldn't believe it. Yeah, so weird story about our actual logo though. The guy who did our logo originally was a guy called Derek Tickle, who did the logo we use right now. And you might have seen it on Facebook, but we got a few designs done from him. So he did the logo and he did a t-shirt design for us, and they're all great. So I thought, cool, I'll just keep using this guy because he's really good. And he was really good. So we commissioned our design for him. I paid him just money up front because he got in touch with me like, hey man, I'm homeless at the moment. Can you just pay me up front and I'll get your design done. And when you say it out loud, it sounds kind of sketchy. But we knew the guy and he seemed pretty legit and obviously done work for us before. Like, cool man, I know people's circumstances are different. Like I've had friends who've been homeless, and when you say homeless, they just mean like couch surfing and stuff. So I kind of thought that's what he meant. And it turned out he was just insane, completely fucking mental. Like he was living in a tent in the woods and stuff.
What?
And he's just been like, from that point on, he just scammed loads of bands. So he took my money, disappeared for years and years, and he'd reappear every now and again to scam more bands and keep trying to track him down. So and in 2019 he kind of reappeared again. So I left him like a review on his page, like, this guy's been fucking avoiding me for about 7 years now. He owes me over $100. Don't use him as a scam. Then he started accusing me of being part of like a satanic pedophile cult, and I somehow owed him loads of money and things like that. It was mad. It was absolute madness. So then, he started like telling me you own my soul and things like that. The guy, it was a shame because the guy was really talented and he just clearly needed some help. But God, he's fucking mental, man. He was so insane. He started sending me videos of him in his tent and stuff, just like screaming at me. He's like, he kept saying things like, yeah, you're taking food out of my child's mouth for your satanic pedophile cult. He's like,
What the fuck?
are you actually living in your tent with your kid? I remember asking him, like, hey man, do you actually live in your tent with your kid? And he's like, don't you talk shit about my kid? Like, oh my fucking God, this guy's awful. But loads of people online just started kind of dogpiling him. They kind of read the story and like, get this guy to fuck. But yeah, I was pretty mad. There's like a lot more to it than that, but that was a bit insane.
I'm not surprised.
I kind of like imagine though, like he's just this like really like dingy tent, right? But like a MacBook in the corner when he does all the designs.
Like I've got his MacBook and I've got his iPhone and stuff. I live in a tent and I offer 3D printing for bands as well. I was like, that's
where does he get the power from?
Isn't it?
Yeah, like, how are you affording like a phone bill and stuff? When they started like accusing me of not paying taxes, like, man, you live in a tent.
If anyone's not paying taxes, it's the guy in the tent. Like,
yeah, he's there with like fucking skinned rabbits as a hat on his head and just like there in his tent. What the fuck? That is crazy.
Yeah. That's very fucking mad. He started telling me the moon wasn't real and things. It was a shame. Like I feel bad. The guy needs help. Like I just want him to get better because he was a really good artist and stuff. But
yeah,
but man, it was insane. It was a trip. It was a ride. I did not expect it to go that far.
It's like
that's
funny,
the thing, though. Like sometimes that sort of happens, though. Like people kind of lose the way, right? And it sometimes feels like out the blue, like it changes in like a flash almost. Like especially like if you see someone like say from like a couple years ago that you haven't seen in a while, and you're like, oh shit, kind of went down the shitter, hasn't it? And like, yeah,
going off the deep end there.
That's extreme though.
But the amount of people I see from my school and that sometimes, and I see them, I go, I'm like, fuck, you okay? Nah, I thought not.
Totally, man. It's like it's so easy to happen, man. Like I'm sure everyone's been at a point in our life where like, right, this can go one of two ways. Kind of like you're saying about super hands. You never go heaven, go to hell.
Yeah.
Some people just kind of go. It's
Wait, the thing is, like
shame.
a lot. I think a lot of like decisions in life are just rolls of dice, of the dice.
absolutely.
Like, and there's been so many times where it's like worked out great, but there's also been so many times where it's worked out badly. But I think like most people are fortunate enough that roll of dice hasn't like seriously affected their income or anything like that,
Totally,
as
man.
much as it might have other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure everyone has like I can like think of loads of moments in my life where if that went badly, my life would be completely different. My life would just be like fucked.
Yeah, it's always
Oh, yeah.
interesting to look
Same
back and
here.
thinking like, you could lose a draw at this moment and everything just goes to shit. But sometimes you're like, oh, thank God I made the right decisions here, and here, or I'll be here. So
Like,
yeah,
man.
that's so true. I want to ask you, like, speaking of you personally, what's like your hobbies and interests outside of music? Like, what do you do in your spare time?
It's sort of spare time. I think my main hobby outside of music is going to the gym and like cooking and stuff. That's like my kind of main like interests, to be honest. I'm really into like anime and video games as well. I'm not like I used to be super into video games when I was like younger, but kind of more casually now. I used to play everything as a kid, like absolutely fucking everything. But now it's just I kind of curate a bit more because I don't really have as much time to spend 30 hours on a fucking JRPG anymore. But yeah, mostly going to gyms, kind of exercising and things like that. Really, I volunteer at a Greyhound rescue kennel.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So that's kind of like one of the main things I do outside of just music. So that's just like volunteering, walking dogs and stuff, and helping them get adopted, things. But but no, I was just going to the gym, cooking and stuff. It's kind of like when I say out loud, it sounds so fucking boring.
What's the party kind of top recipes then? Like, what's your niche?
So at the moment, I'm really into making pizzas. We played Chicago in 2017, and ever since then, like we had a deep dish, like a proper traditional deep pan Chicago deep dish pizza there. And since then, I've just been trying to perfect it. Like I went and bought a pizza stone and stuff. I've been getting like special like yeast and things to try to make it rise properly. I've been tweaking it ever since, and it's just never right. I think it's impossible to do outside of Chicago. It's kind of more like a lasagna than an actual fucking pizza, man. It's incredible because it's kind of like a bowl-shaped little pastry, and you can put the cheese inside the top of it, and inside the sauce of it. It's amazing. It's great.
Yeah, it's like a proper pizza pie in it, like as opposed to
Yeah, exactly.
thin
It's
crust.
just the fucking best. It's just,
Speaking of pizza, right? And I'd hit myself if I didn't bring this up, right?
Bet you
Because
would.
I have
Right.
told so many people this in the past, and like the reaction's always been the same. Okay, so Brad doesn't like cheese, but he still orders pizza just with the sauce and the bacon.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's bizarre, man. Fucking whatever floats your boat, like. Is it?
I've been
Literally-
judged all my life for that shit.
We had the last 10 seconds of life on, and obviously those guys are from New York, so
Yeah,
they were
this is-
like, "What the fuck?"
That's it.
Who is this
I
guy?
feel like I have friends that are like vegan and stuff, and they do it, so it's probably gonna be a bit easier to kind of order it.
Well,
Yeah.
the funniest thing is the amount of times, right? I've been at Brad's and we're like, should we get a pizza? And he's put a note on it, says no cheese, and it always arrives with cheese. And I
Yeah.
said, he once was ranting about it. I'm like, Brad, it's almost like it's just the main ingredient. It's almost like cheese is meant to be there. Like it's almost like it's like physically confusing for people to fucking make a pizza with cheese without cheese. Like going, that must be a typo. Like who doesn't
Yeah.
have cheese on it?
I put it in capital
Wait, man.
letters. Couldn't be more clear.
Exclamation marks and everything. Man. What to do is
Yeah.
just get yourself to IKEA and get yourself a pizza stone and just make your own.
Yeah, let's fucking make my own. Fuck these takeaways, man.
Yeah, I'll make my own pizza with no cheese.
Yeah. People
you know
call
what?
it shit. I do not care. I will eat it.
One day I want to have a Headbangers trip to Italy and see Brad order the pizza with no cheese in Italy, and I want to see it for my own with my own two eyes. Because
Well-
there's going to be some Italian person that's going to kick the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Pizza in LA is kind of different though, man. Like American pizza is the kind of round stuff with lots of cheese on it, but in LA it's like little islands of cheese on it, and it's usually kind of like square or kind of a bit misshapen in a way. So you could probably get away with kind of not getting cheese on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, it's also like more flatter and crispier, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
in Italy. There was this pizza place near my old work, and I was so gutted when it shut down because when I say they made some of the best like pizzas I've ever had in my entire life, I mean it. There's a pizza place near Brad's, right? That's like number one on the list.
What,
now.
Ludo's?
No, not Ludo's. You know the one, that one that was proper New York style that you told me to order from.
Oh, Lower East Side Pizza.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I've literally not stopped thinking about the fucking pizza since I ordered it because it was so good. But if that pizza place hasn't shut down, it would easily be higher than that one because it was unbelievable. Like every pizza was just so worth it.
On the flip side, I used to live in Edinburgh, and there's a place around the corner from me called Naked Pizza, and the pizza was pretty good. It was all advertised as being like super healthy pizza and stuff. We did like fucking obviously bullshit, but
yeah,
the place was a shambles, fucking atrocious. If you ordered a pizza, it would at least be 3 hours before it arrived. So usually what happens is you'd order pizza and you'd go in and just see what's going on, and the staff there were just fucking freaking out the whole time. Like the phone was like ringing, just not answering it. Like people like queued out the door, be like, "Where the fuck is my food and stuff?" So I remember going in and like, "Hey man, I ordered this pizza like 2.5 hours ago, and it said it would be here." Like, just like trying to be polite and stuff. I mean, I've done customer service jobs before. And I was like, "Oh, don't worry, man. I'll just go try and get pizza." And I heard the guy go for the back, and he just started screaming at the guy making the pizza, being like, "I'm gonna get the fuck out! What the fuck are you doing? I'm gonna break your teeth." I was like, but he just kind of came out like. He's like, "Hey man, don't worry.
Actually, guys, I'm not hungry anymore."
Like, your pizza will be 20 minutes. And I saw the guy that came like storming out afterwards. Like, fuck, man. I didn't want to do this to the guy. Like, I just wanted a pizza.
He's just there, his mangled corpses outside. You're like, yeah, this was not worth it.
Seriously, man. Like, that guy went fucking insane.
There was like this old noodle place near me that literally was the exact same thing. Like you'd order your food and this like the person would go around the back and like tell the chef the order and all you hear is "Go fuck out!"
It's always
like that.
Yeah.
And then like why is it I once took my mate there and I was like, just wait to see what happens when you order your noodles because it's so great. And like you'd hear like just this horrific argument and then like, "It'll be 20 minutes, okay."
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's like when you go to your parents, like, you know, your parents, when you go to like your friend's house and then the parents start arguing, it's just that really awkward thing when you're like, "Yeah, so I'll have a cup of tea, please."
God, man. I put on a special called UK Slam Fest in Leeds, and I think it's moving to Manchester actually. And we had this band called Vaginal Penetration of an Amulet with Musty Carrot play from Austria. And we put all the bands up in this hostel. And I was giving a lift back to the airport afterwards. I was like, "Hey man, how was your stay? Like, did you guys join a hostel? That looked pretty legit." He's like, "The hostel was pretty good, but we heard it was kind of muffled screaming coming from upstairs, like just kind of like fine. We heard it was a big banging sound, and it sounded like someone falling down the stairs. So we just kind of sat up all night and kind of hope just a person was going to come into our room." Like, oh, right, I see. Cool. Not that place again.
Absolutely.
What was the name of the place? I'm just gonna add it to our list of places not to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember, man. This is like 2018 or something. The way this kind of described it just seems so haunted by an instant. Like, yeah, that sounds fucking terrible, to be fair.
I had a friend from my old work, and our old work. I used to work in the IT department there, and because we had a sound boss, right, we used to get okay hotel rooms whenever they used to send us places. But other departments straight up just didn't have such a nice boss. So you'd get like that. Some of them would get like the shittest hotels you could possibly think of, right? And I remember I was staying in Birmingham, and I was at this really nice hotel. And I was there like, "Oh, I'm loving this." I had like breakfast every morning, you know, I had a nice comfy bed and shit. All just because my boss was like looking out for me at the time.
Right,
sales guys, nah, they was not having a great time.
No, they were like jizz stained curtains and stuff. You know?
No, I'm not even kidding, right? I came in and he looked physically ill, like he was sweating
Oh,
and
man.
everything. And I was there like, "Are you okay, mate?" And he goes, "No." I go, "Why?" He went, "I didn't get any sleep last night." I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." So like it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I heard like this trickling outside my door, and I thought,
Oh, no, man.
"Oh, is there been like a pipe burst or something?" So he opens the door, and there's this guy just pissing on his door. But obviously, when he opens the door, the guy starts pissing on him. He's
Oh,
like,
man.
"What are you?" He went, "What the fuck are you doing?" He went, "I thought this was a toilet." He went, "Does it look like a fucking toilet?"
God, man.
So, like,
Oh,
he said he
that
ended
is
up
the
like.
worst.
Well, the worst part is he only brought like one pair of like stuff to sleep in because he was like, I'm only here for like a couple of days.
Yeah.
But that was like on the first night of staying in Birmingham. So he
Straight
said,
away.
he went, "I literally have no to sleep in tonight." And he went, as well, like my fucking, I was covered in it and I didn't realize, and it all dripped in my bag and that. So loads of my stuff's also covered in piss.
Oh, it's the worst.
He said I had to get
That's
a shower,
awful.
but the hot water's not working, so it was like a cold shower. So I went to bed like freezing cold. He went, "The fucking sheets are disgusting." He said he peeled back the sheets and there was like shit stains all over. He was like, "I hate it."
Sounds like the hotel from hell, man.
Well, I remember
Fuck's
when
sake,
I
man.
came back to Leeds, I saw him in the office and I was like, "Oh, how was you staying?" Because I was only there for a day, so I was like, "How was you staying in Birmingham?" He went, "It got worse." He went, "It just got worse."
Somehow
Even
it
it's-
got even worse.
Well, he said he had to wait, what? He had to walk through like basically the most crackheady area of Birmingham.
Mhm.
And he said he was walking like in the middle, like broad daylight, and he was just thinking to himself, like, "Am I gonna get mugged?" Especially like it was in the winter as well, so it was dark. So when were walking back, he said he had to like pretty much sprint like to make sure he was okay.
Oh, man. Birmingham can be pretty sketchy as well, man. Like anytime I've been there,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been kind of fucking
Oh yeah.
like it's
sure.
really nice, but you can tell so much shit happens there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
You know what's weird about Birmingham? How quickly shit can change. Like you'll be walking through the city centre and you're like, where the fuck am I?" Like I once went on like a little walk when I was in there, just to sort of like, because I'd never been, and then I was like, "I'm in an industrial state.
Totally, man.
How the fuck did I get here?" Like I was literally in the city centre like 5 minutes
So
ago.
random. Yeah, it's so
It's just
random.
like a random little like city, really.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It really is. So yeah, we are getting sort of like the end point of the interview now. And one way that we always like to leave it is, what advice would you give to like a new band starting out, and then what advice would you give to yourself if you were just starting?
So I think the main thing to do if you're starting your band is just kind of understand who your market is. So say, like, let's just take brutal death metal as an example. If you're starting a brutal death metal band, advertise to people who like brutal death metal. Figure out what kind of gigs you want to play. Don't just jump on, like, there's no point in jumping on a local night with like metalcore bands and like gent bands and stuff, or like fucking indie bands, like random mixed gigs. Don't just take any kind of gig. I just won't reach brutal death metal audiences. Figure out who your target audience is and find best to reach out. So what you really need to do is kind of get invested in your kind of local scene, the kind of wider scene outside your cities and stuff. So we started in Scotland. I knew there was like a massive brutal death metal scene there, but I was already kind of into the whole underground aspect of it. So I knew if I wanted to reach people who like brutal death metal, I need to play Manchester, I need to play Liverpool, I need to play London. So I'd network with those people and get gigs with them. When I was advertising the band, like trying to, when I had YouTube videos up stuff of like songs I'd put in brutal death metal groups, I'd just look for places. I'd send out like promo CDs to labels who ship like brutal death merch so they can hand out things. I would go to festivals and I just kind of hand out like CDs to people who like brutal death metal. If we got offered a gig, it was just like, there's no point in playing that gig, so probably not do that. It was like gore grind bands, like cool people like gore grind, like brutal death metal, that kind of makes sense. That's a bit of a thing. There's no real point in us going and playing with like fucking thrash metal bands all the time. No disrespect to thrash metal bands, which is like not on target audience. And on top of that, I think the best thing is to just kind of make yourself look legit from day one. Back in the day, this is advice I give myself actually. Back in the day, I did not take social media seriously in the slightest. Because back in like 2010, so Facebook was just like a joke. I mean, I guess like social media still is kind of like a joke, really, but it did become like a really powerful tool to without social media, we would not be getting gigs at the moment. We would not be able to network. don't just post random shit on your band page. If you're gonna get a band photo done, get a good one. If you're gonna get a logo made, get a good logo made. Don't just post shit for the sake of it. Just make sure you come across as a legit band people want to book, people want to see. Yeah, so basically, look legit, save up and get a good recording as well. Don't just release like bedroom demos or iPhone recordings of your like band. I'm sure it works in some cases, some people like that, but just invest some money in it, get a good logo, get good pictures, get some kind of like plan on how you're gonna advertise it, network with as many people as possible, just be nice to everyone you meet who can possibly help you or who might help you. Always return a favor, like stick to your word and things like that. But yeah, I think the main thing is just don't be a tool. Fucking get stuck in about your scene. Go to gigs as well. Like if a bro death metal band is playing your city, go see them, talk to them, get to know them, find out who's putting that gig on, give them your demo. Just make sure you have things people want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Take yourself seriously.
Great advice.
Yeah, no way. I said take yourself seriously there, and I'm in a band called Party Can. But what I mean is take your actual product of your band seriously.
Yeah.
You can still be like lighthearted, you can still do whatever you want. Just what you're doing, make sure it's legit in a way. Don't just squander away.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Definitely.
I think
That's great advice.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's definitely important to include the marketing side of things, and that like I've said, everything that you do has a impact somewhere. So don't just post shit. Always make sure everything's up to scratch. So no, I completely agree. But it's been really fun talking to you. And
Yeah, it's been great, man. Thanks for having me on.
can't wait for the big
thank you for coming
party
on.
cannon party at Bloodstock. So
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. I can't wait. There's so many bands I want to see as well. Like I want to see Cocalisis on the New Blood stage. Raise Vows, like we're friends with them. Raise Vows are playing on Thursday as well. Creative Filth is going to be amazing. Napalm Death, all those bands. Viscera are playing right after us, and they're really good. There's a lot strong lineup this year, man.
very strong
Oh,
lineup.
definitely. Hopefully we get to see. Hopefully we see you there. To be fair.
Yeah.
Hopefully, man. Like if you are, come say hi, hang out.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you at Bloodstock, and I hope you have a great time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Just
Until
having me.
then, take
No
care.
worries.